My only ambition was to somehow earn a salary. I had no ambition to build a large company.
Today we have Sanjeev Bikhchandani, a gentleman who has stayed humble, has stayed humane, and has stayed hungry all his life. What was it like in Columbus, studying there and growing up there?
In Columbus in those days, academically was possibly the best school in the country and was therefore very prestigious.
When did you actually end up getting your first advertiser?
That could have taken maybe 2-3 years.
The humility, right, that you have, where does that really come from?
The family I'm from, my parents, my siblings, the school I went to, college I went to, my friends. But I think a lot of it also comes from my first job at Lintas.
Founders chase valuation like it's a trophy. What do you wish they would chase instead?
Revenue and profit and cash flow.
If history remembers Sanjeev Bikhchandani for just one thing, what would you want that to be?
He made a difference.
Today's guest needs no introduction. Someone who started with a first salary of 1,500 rupees and has today built a portfolio worth billions of dollars. Someone who actually took a trade in the stock market with his starting seed capital and blew up 90% of his capital on a trade in a stock called Bindal Agro, but today has created 41,300 crore plus of investor value in some of his portfolio companies. Someone who started with paying a rent of 800 rupees to his father when he used his room above his garage, and has today gone ahead and been awarded a Padma Shri by none other than the President of India. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have Sanjeev Bikhchandani, a gentleman who has stayed humble, has stayed humane, and has stayed hungry all his life and continues to do so even today. Fasten your seatbelts because this is going to be one mind-blowing episode. Sanjeev, thank you so much for coming on Let's Chat with GB.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And I don't know if you recall, but it was perhaps maybe 26 years ago when we first actually met. And it was a time when Naukri was just getting, traction, I wouldn't say underway. And one of our first meetings had happened with you when I had come in to actually show things like merch on,
Yes.
coffee mugs and mouse pads. And Hitesh, you had actually approved them.
I remember.
So,
I remember.
And
I think you've done our first set of coffee mugs with those irreverent quotes on them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I kept asking Aisha for them many years later and Sumit for them many years later.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think they're all distributed, so I don't have them with me. But those were some early bright ideas we developed together.
I remember that. In fact, I remember we done the paper bags. We had done the mouse pads, which had a dog creative. We had the coffee mugs, of course. And I was going through some of our old records, and I was wondering if it was possible to, find some of those creatives. And interestingly, I was actually able to go ahead and create, well, not the ceramic, versions of those, but actually created, a metal insulated mug. And that's got one of the quotes where it says, hard work fascinates me. And
Yes.
I can sit and watch it, for hours.
Yes.
So I had that created for you. And it said Naukri.com business extracts.
Yep.
So we did have that one. So you had the teamwork, which said, is a great leveler. And it means having time, take the fall. And of course, that logo. So just another piece of merch. And of course, you're right. You remember the aim low, achieve your targets.
Yes.
So I had this made for you, which is
remember.
actually a mouse pad, which can actually be used for cleaning your spectacles as well.
We sat down in the company and 3-4 of us, and we said, let's think like Mad Magazine, which of course is now out of print, but
Right.
we all grew up reading it, and say, what irreverent stuff can we come out with, which will make perhaps people smile a bit,
Love it.
and just add the Naukri logo.
Love it. And then, of course, we had the hard work fascinates me. So just some memorabilia that I had, created for you, which I thought you might want to take back for
Thank you so much.
nostalgic reasons.
I really appreciate this.
So I do have that for you as well. And the early days of Naukri, fascinating times, right? In fact, I also did come across, one of the letters that you had, also recently, tweeted about. And this is a letter which was from 1997, the 13th of October. And you're actually reaching out to Avon Cycles in Ludhiana and telling them about your offering.
Yeah, so what had happened was that we launched in April 97, and we began to take ads, appointment ads from newspapers and rehash them in our own words,
Right.
put them in a data structure and uploaded them on the internet, and traffic began to come. We launched in March, April, I think early April 97.
Right.
And around August, or was it early September, we got a phone call saying that I am so-and-so, I had this company. It was a mid-sized auto component companies in Pune.
Right.
And I forget the name, unfortunately. And this gentleman said, I had the company. And I had advertised in the paper some time back, and you took the ad and put it on your website, and we got a decent response. I've got 6 ads, 6 jobs which I have not advertised in the paper. If I send them to you, will you put them up? And I instantly said, yes, sir, but we'll have to pay a little bit of money. Because if you put in the papers, we'll take it free of cost. If you're sending it directly, we'll charge you money.
Right.
Because you're saving money in the papers.
Right.
And he said, how much will you charge me? Now, I hadn't thought of it.
Agreed.
So I thought for half a second, and it just came out of my mouth, 350 rupees per job. So that's 2,100 rupees. I said, okay, I'm sending you the draft along with the jobs by courier. And you please put them up. And that was our first sale.
Amazing.
And 350 rupees a single listing remained the price of a listing in Naukri, for the next 10 years.
Did.
So much for pricing strategy, right?
Did.
Okay. And when that happened, we said, okay, we have a revenue model. We made our first sale without even trying.
Right.
So that is when you took out all the old jobs for the last 6 months that had been on the site.
Right.
And took out the addresses and the titles and the company names and made a database, a mailing list. And then we send them all letters saying that, this is the internet, this is Naukri, we've taken your jobs in the past, you may have got responses, here's the format attached. If you have jobs you want to post, which you've not put in the papers, if in the paper, you take it free of cost. If
Right.
not, okay.
Right.
Then it's 350 rupees single listing or 6,000 rupees a year annual subscription. And let me read that letter.
Of course. Of course.
I'll just tell you what.
Yep.
Come back to me. Yeah, 6,000 rupees and, plus a free homepage and
Very generous offer, actually.
well, we made it look generous. I had done 3 years in advertising, right? So
Right.
I could write. We
Could copy.
I was not a copywriter. I was in servicing, but that's been around enough copywriters.
Of course.
To figure out I can write this.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And the amazing part is you've still kept your offering very reasonable. I mean, we have opened, listings on Naukri as we speak. And even today, it's not something that's going to break the bank. You can have 1750 for 3 listings or thereabouts.
Yeah, so it's like this. See, our fundamental value prop is that we have to have all the jobs that are out there and open because
Right.
jobs is what attracts traffic.
Very true.
Now, if you want all the jobs, right, you will take some jobs free of cost,
Right.
which you'll put at the bottom of the circulars.
Right.
You will take some jobs which are low price, but you will have a price point for everybody.
Right.
So our largest client, I think, pays us more than 10 crores a year
Wow.
for many things.
Of course.
Our smallest client will pay us 550 or whatever, and somebody may even get it free.
Right, right. Phenomenal. And for our viewers and listeners, do you also want to tell them about, the Madras Hotel story and the bookseller, that you had near that, where you would actually go and pick up your, newspapers and listings from? I thought that was fascinating in terms of when you started and how you did that as well.
Yeah, so, we had a notion, and, and correctly so, that jobs is what attracts traffic.
Right.
So if you put up a lot of jobs, you will get traffic without having to advertise. We had no money. We could not advertise. We were broke. Okay. And we were running off at $25 a month shared server. My brother was paying for it.
Correct.
So we had no money. So Madras Hotel, there was this organization called Central News Agency, which had a shop or an office or a showroom there.
Right. Cannot Place Outer Circle.
The outer circle.
Right.
Right. And what Central News Agency would do is it would get newspapers and magazines from all over India and all over the world, actually.
Right.
And if you want, for example, if you want Malayalam Manorama in Delhi,
Right.
it would deliver it to you by the afternoon
Wow.
of that day.
Same day's edition would be delivered by the
So
afternoon.
it will be put on the morning flight, from Trivandrum, and it'll land in Delhi by 11, and we deliver to you by 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So I had gone there. So I knew about this because I had worked in advertising. So I knew about Central News Agency, and and B, I had also I was a part-time journalist at the Pioneer newspaper.
Correct.
So I knew a little bit about newspapers and media and writing and
Right.
and media planning and so on. So I went there and I noted down which day of the week do appointment ads appear in which newspaper around the country.
Right.
And I found 29 newspapers where at least one day a week there was a appointment ad section. So I noted them down, and every day we would send a peon there. And today you pick up these 3 papers tomorrow, and so on.
Right.
And we used to get these papers to our office, and we had 2 data entry operators whose job was to enter them, and we would upload them on the site. So essentially, Naukri started as a free service for users and also a free service for advertisers because we weren't charging for this.
Of course.
And our target was to update twice a week, Wednesday and Saturdays.
Right.
I didn't have an internet connection when we launched for 6 months. We didn't have an internet connection. We could not afford one. A friend of mine had, the guy who was doing the technology. He was working from home. And every day, every Wednesday and Saturday, we'd send across 2 floppy drives, 2 floppy disks to him saying, can you upload the site? And he would get up at midnight, because that's when you got a stable connection on a dial-up.
True. I remember those days.
And it would take a couple of hours to update the site. And he'd do it. Then we got our own internet connection. Then I began to do the updation. And, it was, the offices are still on the floor above the house. So I would come up at 2 o'clock in the morning and
Right.
get, when there was stable connection, and we would update the site.
Phenomenal.
So essentially our promise was very simple. A large number of jobs. So at least 1,000 jobs any point in time. B, if it's been advertised anywhere, you'll find it here.
Amazing.
So if you're sitting in Delhi, but the ad appeared in Hindu Chennai, it
It's
was
to
here.
see it. Right. Of course.
If it appeared 3 weeks ago and you missed it,
It'd still be there.
it's still here because we keep it live for a month.
Of course.
So that became the value prop which people understood and people wanted. And so they would keep on coming. They tell their friends, we got word of mouth. What is now called virality. And in those days, that term had not been invented. But that had happened, because we had a customer insight
Right.
that told us that if you've got a large number of jobs, you will get traffic.
Love that. Amazing. And of course, you mentioned about your first client. When did you actually end up getting your first advertiser? Because that eventually also did become a source of revenue as well.
So actually, we are not that big on getting non-recruitment advertising. We get some, but it's not as if it's a big part of our revenue.
Of course.
So that would have taken maybe 2-3 years.
Got it.
We were not focusing on that.
Got it. And this time when you started out and all of this was happening, you were actually working above the garage of your dad's
No.
home?
So I tell you, I quit my job in 1990.
Correct.
We rented the servant quarter above the garage.
Right.
My dad didn't want rent, but I insisted. So the market rent would have been 1,500 rupees. But he said, I did a compromise and I paid half rent, 800 rupees. Right. Then we had 2 servant quarters of the garage as we grew.
Got it.
And then, and now for the first 7 years of quitting my job,
Right.
we were not doing Naukri. We were doing a whole bunch of other things.
Agreed.
Salary surveys, trademarks database, other reports, teaching, training, part-time journalism. I wrote a couple of books. Whatever came my way
Grab
to
that.
survive. The company could not afford to pay me a salary.
Right.
For the first 10 years, I did not take a salary for about 7 years. Sporadically, I'd take a salary.
Agreed.
As and when the company would pay me. And therefore, my teaching gigs, teaching at management schools in and around Delhi was really my Jugaad.
IMT you mentioned as well.
IMT is where I taught very regularly.
Right.
I would take full courses.
Right.
So my whole ball game was that if I can earn roughly 5,000 rupees a month as visiting faculty, then I can survive.
खर्चे निकल आएंगे अपने.
The company can't afford to pay me. I can survive.
Yeah.
And that's what my goal was, to somehow survive.
Love it. Right. And interestingly, one of your interviews, you also mentioned that if you weren't an entrepreneur, hadn't taken this path, you probably would have been a teacher.
Well, actually, I began to enjoy teaching.
Yeah.
And I became good at it. And I used to get good feedback.
Right.
And that pleased me no end. Okay. So I'm still in touch with many of my former students.
Love it.
And we meet up sometimes.
Super. So let's talk about your alma mater, St. Columbus, just across the road, 1969 through 1981. What was it like in Columbus, studying there and growing up there?
So we were proud of the school, and we regarded ourselves very fortunate to have got admission there.
Right.
And to be able to study there. Because St. Columbus in those days, academically, was possibly the best school in the country.
Agreed.
And was therefore very prestigious.
Right.
But it was not an elite school in the sense that it was not a rich kid school. Most of us were from very middle-class families. My father was in the government,
Right.
a doctor in the government. Mom was a homemaker. Most of my friends were service-class families,
Right.
not rich, right? It was also focused a lot on academics, big on discipline, big on academics,
sure.
big on character building. There was sports, there were extracurriculars, but I mean, it is a school that produced Shah Rukh Khan, okay?
Great.
Okay, but that was atypical,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? The typical Columban would study hard and hopefully make it somewhere in life by dint of academic performance.
Yeah.
Not because you're your parents' son. It was all boys' school. It was there was corporal punishment. So if you stepped out of line, you got caned.
Correct.
And caning was public. So that was a huge deterrent effect, and that caused us to, right? You were not allowed to have long hair. They come and cut your hair. It's over years. You were
Right.
not, in the early 70s, bell bottoms were in.
Right.
But there was a rule, if it's more than 23 inches, we'll come and staple it. Right?
Really? Okay.
Okay. So we were kept in line. And I think that actually helped us in the long run. Although at that time, you were careful and you were a little scared to, not step out of line. And yes, very many people did do very well academically and got into good colleges.
Correct.
And finally did all right in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was that kind of school.
And Hitesh went to Columbus as well.
That's right. He was about 9 years
Right. I think it
younger
was
than me.
1990 batch.
Yes, 9 years younger than me.
Right.
He also went to Columbus. So Columbus was, if you're from a middle-class family in Delhi in those days, Columbus was the most aspirational school.
The rich kids went to modern perhaps, but yeah, I think you're probably right.
It's not that we didn't have rich kids. We had a few, maybe 5%, 10%.
Right.
But the vast middle majority.
Yeah, yeah. Now, some of my closest friends were, of course, from Columbus. I mean, still are. And I went to St. Columbus for 6 years as well, KG through 5. And I remember, Mrs. Wright in KG, and that means we were like 5 years old.
There were two of them. There were D right and E right.
I think we had the D right. And I remember her actually caning us, and sometimes breaking rulers on people's hands. And we're 5 years old, right? But it was amazing. I think what it did in terms of discipline was something else altogether.
So in 1988, corporal punishment was banned in India by the government, or at least in Delhi by the government. So that's when it went out.
Yeah. No, exceptional. And Deep also went to St. Columbus as well.
Deep is class of 87.
Right. But of course, I think he was an exceptional student. And there's a very interesting story that you once related that you had an older brother and sister, or you have an older brother and sister, and they weren't given, comic books, and the likes. But you did have some comic books growing
so
up.
I was the youngest. My sister is 9 years elder to me, and my brother's 7 years elder to me.
Right.
And because I was the youngest, and my father, I think, was a little partial towards me. Mm-hmm. And I was allowed to do stuff that they had not been allowed to do. And they were, used to tell me that you're really pampered. We were not allowed to have comic books, but you're allowed to have comic books. But,
Right.
But my brother used to come first in class always.
Wow.
Okay. And I have never come first in class, ever. Okay. So, it's not that I was not intelligent. It's just I never worked hard enough, never applied myself.
Right.
Okay? I would much rather play a game, play a sport than study. Right. So I would get by. So I recall in class 4, I think it was, in Columba, you got a report card and they'll put your rank there.
I remember that. Yeah.
They put your
Can be
rank.
very humbling at times.
It depends where you ended up. But so I finished, I think, 32nd in a class of 45.
Right.
In one exam, one midterm or first term or second term or something. My father was really upset because my brother had been coming first in class. My brother had just finished class 11 and he topped. And he got mad at me. And I answered back somewhat insolently. So he got really upset. So he said, okay, I'm going to fix you. And he took all my comic books, put them in the backyard, in the back garden, and made a pile of them and set them on fire.
No.
So I was like really upset, but but anyway, I learned my lesson. So in class 5, I worked really hard, and I came 5th.
Amazing.
Okay, in the top 5.
Yeah.
So then, my father was somewhat reassured And my parents were reassured that if he studies hard, he can still, he's not stupid. Okay, he just has to work hard. So then, so that is actually my best rank ever. I've never come better than fifth.
Yeah.
Okay, so I peaked rather early in class 5.
Yeah.
But from then on, my ambition, as far as academics is concerned, is that I will do well enough to get what I want. So I will do well enough in class 10, and I will do well enough in the exams that matter. So I did well enough in class 10 to get my subjects in class 11, whichever one I wanted.
Right.
I did well enough in class 12 to get into St. Stephen's College.
Correct.
I did well enough in the IIT entrance after class 11 and 12 to clear the exam. I did not join, but I cleared the exam. I did well enough in the CAT to get into an IIM.
Which you did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did well enough in IMA. I was not at the top, but I was in the top 15%.
Lovely.
So that was, for me, that was good enough.
Yeah. No, I love that. You're right. I mean, I remember some of those days when the report card used to come in Columbus, and they used to always have a ranking. And I've never, I think, broke the top 5 because also I think our class had some of the smartest people. I mean, there's Rachit Mathur, who's now heading, BCG. There's Sachin Gupta, who is a protege of, Mr. Jhunjhunwala himself and went public, recently with his health company in the US. So, of course, some very, very smart people indeed. And you mentioned the advertising, and you went to Lintas. Lintas in the mid-80s, were they in Nehru Place at the time?
That is right. Mm-hmm. The Delhi office in Nehru Place. No, what had happened was that, so my brother went to IIT Kanpur, then IIM Ahmedabad.
Right.
And he worked for 1 year in a company where he was a software programmer.
Right.
He didn't like the job, so he said, I don't want to work in the corporate sector. And he went to the US, to Stanford University, to do his PhD.
Nice.
So I had just joined college when he left.
Right.
So just in interviews, visa ka, the day the visa interview was there, he and 5 of his friends or 4 of his friends turned up to our house for lunch.
Okay.
Because they were all going to the US. They were all from IIM Ahmedabad. They were all quitting their jobs and they were all going to the US for the PhDs.
Wow.
And they all had the visa interview on the same day. And these guys were from out of town. So
Right.
they came and had lunch with us at our place.
Right.
So I remember asking them, I said, what's wrong with you guys? You were doing such a, you're earning well, IIM Ahmedabad, great salary. You guys are all from the IITs and then, IMA, and why are you doing this? Why are you quitting? Why are you going to the US? And one of them told me, we made a mistake. I said, what happened? We joined IIM because we got in, not because we knew what a manager's job is and whether they'd like to do it or not.
Right.
We don't want to be managers.
Right.
We don't want this career.
Fair.
We want to get back into academics and we want to be professors and we want to do research and teaching and publishing research.
Right.
And I'll give you some piece of advice, he told me. I said, what? He said, the top business schools in the world, which are American business schools.
Of course.
Harvard, Stanford, Wharton,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
He named them. He says, if you look at the class profile, 96 to 97% have prior work experience.
Okay.
So we went into IIM Ahmedabad straight from IIT
Right.
with no real world experience as managers.
Right.
And therefore, number one, we had no clue we had less of a clue as to what's going on in class.
Sure.
Because we could not relate to the real world.
Right.
And which is why the best business schools in the world insist on 3 or 4 years work experience.
Got it.
Because you can relate what you experience in the real world to what is being talked about in class. You learn more and you learn better.
Agree.
Number one. And number 2 is you're sure of your goals, that you want to go back to industry
Right.
and work as a manager, which is why you're doing an MBA after 2-3 years of working.
Right.
And therefore, the MBA, the PGDM as it's called, the Postgraduate Diploma in Management from the IIMs,
Right.
does not work for us. And we should have ideally worked for 2-3 years and gone, or we should have gone overseas for a PhD straight away if we knew what we wanted to do in life.
Right.
So therefore, my advice to you is to work for 2 or 3 years after college before doing an MBA. And that was I think, one of the most consequential pieces of advice that I received, which I listened to. Because after college, I got into IIM Calcutta and did not join. I preferred to work at Lintas.
Yeah.
Now, in those days, it was very hard to get a job straight after college. I mean, you got it. If you were a CA, you got it. If you were an engineer, you got it.
Yeah.
But if you're a BA, there were only 10 or 15 people in that whole class of St. Stephen's that got jobs straight away, maybe 20
And a
people.
college like Stephens, which is anyway got so stellar reputation.
Yeah, but you know, a couple of tea companies came. You could work in the tea gardens. A couple of Delhi-based companies came. I think J Engineering, Usha Sales. I think DCM. We were lucky to get those. Yeah. And for the first, I think Orient Longman came. You know, they were looking for copy editors, trainee editors, and they were paying 650 rupees. I think DCM was paying 2,400 rupees. Hindustan Lever came, but only for master students. TAS came, but only for master students. Brookbond came, I didn't get it. At that time, Brookbond was not a part of Lever, or maybe it had just been taken over, but they were recruiting separately.
Okay.
And Lintas came at 1,500 rupees, and I got it.
उसमें फिर आपके I think 120 रुपए कटे थे उसके बाद in terms of.
So, the take home was 1,380 because there was a 20 rupees Maharashtra professionals tax because that company is headquartered in Bombay.
Right.
And 100 rupees PF because your basic salary was 1,000 rupees and 10% PF katta tha. So take home was 1,380.
Wow. Wow, what a place to start. And this is an iconic and epic time for Indian advertising. And, of course, our viewers and listeners would agree because we have Alec Padamsee, who's running the agency out of Bombay. You have campaigns such as, I think the Little Girl campaign was around that time. Was it Lalita ji at Surf? I think so. These are all the kind of campaigns that happened at that time. So epic campaigns.
Yeah. So I think Lintas was a super learning ground for me. In terms of work ethic, in terms of professionalism, in terms of the kind of exposure I got to some really smart people. So all my bosses, all my colleagues, my boss's boss, the creative people, they were all super, super smart. So just being around them and being in the same room and listening, sometimes contributing, was a huge learning experience for me.
Agreed.
Also, you see, if you're in client servicing in advertising and you're a client servicing trainee, you're at the absolute bottom of the food chain.
Great.
So you get kicked around a lot. Your job is to get outcomes and output from a whole bunch of people and departments where they are older to you, senior to you, and not reporting to you. And if they don't do your work on time, they don't get penalized for it. You get penalized for it. Because it's not that they're not working. They are doing somebody else's work.
Of course.
It's because there's several client servicing people who are trying to get them to do their work.
Right.
And they have competing priorities. And they're juggling competing priorities.
Yeah.
So if you want your work out on time, right, they have to want to work with you.
Yeah.
So you really have to learn people's skills.
For sure.
And you learn the hard way. You beg, you cajole, you plead, you be humble. You don't carry your St. Stephen's label on your shoulder ever.
Great.
You somehow, you have to get people to want to work with you. And that is something, there is no school for that.
And that would have carried you brilliantly all through your career.
No, so it took me 1.5, 2 years to get on top of that one. I learned.
Right.
And I think if I do have decent people skills today, or half decent, it's come from there.
I bet.
It's come from that crucible. So therefore, for any entrepreneur to succeed, I think one key ingredient is that you've got to be good with people.
Yeah.
For any senior manager to succeed, any manager to succeed, you've got to be good with people.
Yeah.
And I think being at the bottom of the food chain and having tough deadlines and juggling 25 balls in the air at the same time and somehow having to deliver output and outcomes in time because you're accountable. So here's the thing. I'm responsible.
Right.
I'm accountable. I have no authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
So responsibility and accountability without authority, you've got to really develop your soft skills.
Of course. Totally makes sense. Right. And of course, after your stint at IIM, you had a smaller corporate stint. And this is Horlicks. At the time, was it owned by GSK Consumer, the brand?
The company was called HMM.
Right. Yeah.
Which is an earlier avatar of GSK Consumer. So it went through various global mergers and acquisitions and name changes. So GSK became Beecham after liberalization.
Right.
It was anyway 40% owned by Beecham.
Right.
I think at the time of FERA,
Right.
in 1977-78, they had diluted down and gone public in India. But after liberalization 91, they brought it back up. And they were called Beecham. And then globally there was a merger with SmithKline French.
Yeah.
They became SmithKline Beecham.
Right.
Then there was a merger with Glaxo globally. They became GlaxoSmithKline. But there was already a SmithKline, GlaxoSmithKline pharmaceutical.
Correct.
So this became
Consumer
Health. Right. And now that company has been bought by Unilever with the Horlicks brand.
Right.
And the other brands have been spun off into a new company called Halion, which is also doing very well.
Got it. And you're still in touch with colleagues from the advertising days as well as from the HMM days?
WhatsApp is a great... We got WhatsApp group for everything.
Agreed. Yeah.
I got a WhatsApp group for Lintas Delhi colleagues. I got a WhatsApp group for Lintas India, all colleagues. There's a WhatsApp group for my 4 closest people in Lintas.
Love it.
Then there's a WhatsApp group for GlaxoSmithKline,
Right. Yeah.
HMM.
Yeah.
There's various WhatsApp groups.
So 1990, you said, I'm done. Okay, now it's time to pursue the entrepreneurial journey. And of course, not many people realize this, that there was 6 years of hustle and a lot of hard
7
work
years
that
of
went in.
wilderness.
7 years of wilderness. I love that one story that I also came across, that you had the 66,000 rupee corpus.
68,000.
68,000 corpus.
And I was terrified, okay, because my annual salary, my last job at HMM, was 5,500 rupees a month post-tax, 60,000 rupees post-tax. So I had 1 year's salary in the bank.
Right.
Obviously, if I'm starting a business, some of that money will be consumed.
Right.
So it's not as if it's 1 year's salary in the bank. It's going to be consumed also.
Yeah.
And I was terrified, because we don't have any business in the family. My dad, my uncles, everybody's a engineer or a doctor.
Right.
And they're in the government.
Right.
My brother is academic in the
Which
US.
is also rare for the Sindhi community, right?
That's not true.
No? Okay.
So there is a stereotype, which is that Sindhis are...
Great at business and entrepreneurship.
Some of them are, but very many of them are not. They're in government, they're in service, they're in private companies.
Right.
They go to the engineering colleges, they go to the business schools and they become professional managers and so on. They get into the IAS, right? So it's a hard-working community.
For sure.
But it's not necessarily a business community. But that legend has been built up.
Agreed.
And, Marwari is a businessman, right? But if you were to do an enumeration, I'm willing to bet 80% of Marwaris are not businessmen. They're working for other Marwari businesses.
Companies, right. Agreed.
As employees.
And again, to give context, I mean, the Sindhi community itself was completely displaced by the partition because everyone was just asked to go, right?
The Sindhi Hindu community.
Right.
So Sindh had roughly 1/3 or 25% Hindus, 75% of Muslims. Muslims obviously stayed back there.
Right.
Sindhis wanted to stay back there, but as the riot started, they came away.
Right.
And most came to India, but they went to Dubai, they went to Hong Kong, they went to Japan, they went to China, they went to the Caribbean, they went to all over the place.
And dominated those industries, textile in Hong Kong.
So I'll tell you, if you read up on various waves of Indian migrations, right? There's one particular trend which happened maybe 100, 150 years ago. So Britain abolished slave labor.
Right.
Okay. In 1800 something.
Right.
Or the 1700 something, around that time.
Right.
But then they needed cheap labor anyway to work the plantations all over the empire.
Sure.
To work the tin mines, to work the diamond mines, to work the railway construction. They wanted cheap labor. So they decided that we'll get it from India and we won't call it slave. We'll call it indentured labor. And they contracted contractors, say,
Right.
get us labor.
Right.
And these contractors went and got labor from parts of Bengal and Bihar.
Got it.
These people became indentured labor. But it was essentially maybe just a little bit above slavery. So you got a salary, you signed a contract, but the contract was 20 years or 30 years.
Wow.
You got no vacations home.
No.
And you got onto a ship and you went somewhere in the empire.
It's a one-way ticket in a way.
Yeah. And many of them died on the way.
Yeah.
It was not so great conditions. And if you know that the one term for this, the descendants of these people who went is Girmitiyas. You heard the term Girmitiya?
No, I hadn't heard of that. No.
So Girmitiyas are descendants of people who went as indentured labor. And Girmitya is derived from Girmit. Girmit is a bastardized term for agreement.
Oh.
So agreement became Girmit. मैं Girmit में आया हूँ. मैं Girmitya हूँ.
So would this be Fiji, Guyana, some of those places as well?
Yeah. Caribbean, East Africa, South Africa, Fiji, Mauritius, Malaysia.
Cross the empire.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Now, these, indentured labor would live in camps. The British did not want them to mix with local population.
Right.
They wanted to just make them work.
Right.
So you will have a plantation and you'll have a camp of 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 indentured labor just outside.
Yeah.
And this is not in the main city.
No.
Okay, the camp has got boundaries. Now these indentured laborers would have a demand for Indian products. Sari, dhoti, masala, dal, chawal, whatever. Right? Indian food, Indian clothes, Indian whatever. Household, whatever. Now, Gujarati traders and Sindhi traders saw the opportunity. So, one Gujarati or Sindhi brother would be in India,
Right.
Karachi or Surat or wherever.
Oh,
right?
amazing.
And one brother would go there and set up a shop outside the camp.
Wow. Okay.
And they would send products from here, that guy would sell them there. So a lot of the Indian business houses, which are now so prosperous in Africa and the Caribbean and are descendants of those traders.
Fantastic.
Whereas the indentured laborers were poorer. Right? And therefore their descendants were poorer. So they took 3 or 4 generations because you see, you did your 30 years or 20 years.
Correct.
And then you came out.
Yeah.
But you had no savings. So you didn't have a lifestyle. So you couldn't send your kids a great education. It took generations for people to come out of it. So V.S. Naipaul is the most celebrated Girmitya. Well, was. He's passed away. But his grandmother or his great-grandmother had gone there.
Right. Right.
As a indentured laborer.
Interesting.
Okay. So, so you have 2 classes of descendants.
Got it.
One are those who are the traders,
Yeah.
and therefore they're better off from day one.
Yeah.
And the others are the descendants of indentured labor, and they took generations to come out of there.
Got it. Wow. Yeah.
The economic
Interesting lesson in history and economics.
So, Shiv Naren Chandrapal.
Yeah. The cricketer of West Indies cricketer.
I recall reading somewhere that he traced which village his ancestors came from. He's a descendant of he's a Girmitya.
Right.
Okay. Indentured labor descendant. And he went and he tried to trace his village. And if you do a Google search, you'll find it.
Somewhere in Bihar, is it?
Yeah, so actually, you see, that time Calcutta was the epicenter
Right.
of the British Empire.
Right.
So all these indentured laborers were shipped out of Calcutta.
Yeah.
And therefore, they were recruited from Bihar and parts of what is now West Bengal.
Sure.
And at that time, there were a lot of famines in India.
Right.
So people were desperate to get out and somehow save their lives.
Right.
And that's where they went.
Wow. Wow. Fantastic. I had no idea about that.
And so I'm curious about history. So I read up on stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 instances that came to mind in the earlier years when you were in 90s to 96 period. Two instances that came to mind. One is, of course,
wait.
sure.
I mean,
Of course.
I digressed. I didn't complete the story.
Okay.
So I had 68,000 rupees.
Yes, that's the one story. Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I had never invested in the stock market ever.
Right.
Okay. But I had friends who did it. So one friend told me, boss, you've got 1 year salary saved now. You're quitting your job. I've got a great
Opportunity.
There's a company called Binder Agro. वहाँ पे सुना है कि bonus issue आ रहा है. So share price will double.
Right.
So if you put all your money into this,
Right.
you will get 2x.
Yeah.
So then you have 2 years of salary. I said, what an idea, Sarji.
Easy money.
Yeah. So I went to a friend's father, and he was a sub-broker in Delhi Stock Exchange. In those days, there were 21 stock exchanges.
Asavali Road, mein Delhi Stock Exchange used to be there. Yeah.
Outcry method.
Yeah.
There was no, SEBI had been formed, but SEBI had not yet been, SEBI Act,
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
There was no equity research. Everybody invested on what your friend told them to.
Just like around Harshad Mehta now, 91, 92-ish.
This was in 1990.
Okay. So slightly pre Harshad Mehta scam. Yeah.
Pre that scam, right? And I went to that friend's father and said, Uncle, suna hai ki Binder Agro bonus issue aa raha hai. So I want to put 66,000 rupees in Binder Agro. He says, beta, bonus issue aa raha hai. Why don't you buy on forward?
Right.
Then you will make 5 or 6x. And then you'll have 5 years of salary saved up.
Oh, slippery slope.
So I said, okay. So I bet 60,000 rupees. I kept 2,000 rupees reserve.
Right.
I had put 60,000 rupees, 1 year salary. And what's called Badla. I bought Binder Agro on Badla, which is
Into derivatives trading in today's time, right?
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So,
And that's
so
dangerous stuff.
I learned the hard way that look, if you're buying on a rumor, number one, the rumor better be right. Number two, you had better have bought early into the rumor.
Agreed.
Before the rumor, snowballs.
Right.
Right? And that's how the share price rises.
Of course.
Now, I was wrong on both. I had bought late into the rumor. The share price had already doubled.
Oh. Yeah.
I didn't research it. Then I didn't know how to research it. I didn't know. I had zero clue on stock market. And second was the rumor was wrong. The bonus issue did not happen.
Right.
So it was an operated stock. And somebody invested a lot of money, but it wasn't me. Within a week, the share price halved.
Instead of doubling it, halved.
It halved. So within a week, I got a call from
margin call.
Beta, now we are square.
Yep.
So I was down to 2,000 rupees. So the company started with 2,000 rupees.
Crazy. And hence all the hustle of...
So I never touched the stock market for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I said I'll stick to my core competence, which is running our company, running our business.
Right.
And that was a lesson learned very early.
Love it.
In a very expensive manner.
Of course. And the other one...
And that's when the hustle started to teach on weekends.
Got it. And another story that really, got me is the fact that you once, got a call from, again, in days when you were struggling, you got a call from one of your, juniors, and he asked you to do a consulting assignment. And he actually offered you, a certain amount, and he asked for a bit of a kickback.
94.
And you actually declined.
94.
When the money would have come to great use, 30,000 rupees was coming to you, 20,000 was to go to him.
Yeah, no, if I recall correctly, we had quoted some 30 or 40,000 rupees. It was a market research assignment.
Right.
I got a call
Right.
saying, market research kar loge. Now, we were doing anything that came our way to survive. Of
course.
So, kar lenge. We'll do it. Now, I'd been in marketing, I'd been in advertising, I had done enough market research assignments.
Right.
So I knew a bit about market research.
Yeah.
And I said, kar lenge. हमने salary survey किया था. That's also market research.
True.
So, kar lenge. So we went for a meeting, and the guy says, okay, fine, this is the brief. So came back home and produced a proposal, sent it to him. In those days, there's no email. So it was sent by courier. Then he called me and come over. So I went, and he said, you quoted 40,000 rupees. इसमें इतना add-on कर लो. I think 30, 40,000 rupees. I'll clear it, and we'll split it. or you give me the
Differential.
Yeah. I forget now exactly what the commercial terms he proposed was. And I was a little stunned, and I was not expecting this. So I said, I'll come back to you. So I came back home and I thought about it for 2 days. देखो 40,000 रुपए हमारे घर बन रहे हैं. It was decent money.
Big money at the time, right? Yeah.
And eventually I took a call that we'll say no. Because we haven't started this company to do anything dishonest, to not pay tax. We want to pay, we'll pay our full taxes, we earn our full profit, we would not steal money from anybody.
Right.
And so it was a moment of truth for me. That for the first time, I was questioning my values and saying, ki karna kya? Right? And a kind of switch flipped in my head. And I said, we will only do honest work, we'll only do good work. Because that's what we've done till now. We've never been dishonest, we're not going to start now. And agar paise bane, nahi bane. It doesn't matter. And as luck would have it, within 2-3 years, we began to make money.
Right.
So it worked out okay.
But at that point, it would have been a tough decision because that money could have meant a lot at that point of time.
Yeah, but for 2 days, it was a tough decision. Once the decision was taken.
Then no looking back. Yeah. And you also said that at that point onwards, you decided that, money is not a criteria anymore. Aana hai to aa jayega. That kind of became your mindset as well. Did you also have, in the early days, maybe 90 through 93, did you have a co-founder, a friend who was also business partner, Kapil Verma, was it?
That's right.
Was he a part of, the early years as well?
That's right, but not of Naukri. Naukri was launched in 97. We split in 93.
Got it. So,
good guy. But we just, I think, had very different ways of working.
Fair.
So we went separate ways, amicably.
Right.
Where we had 2 companies and 2 businesses.
Yeah.
I kept InfoEdge and the salary survey business.
Right.
Because that was my idea. He kept IndMark, the trademark search service.
Right.
But that was his idea. We divided the assets and the employees.
Got it. So amicably, everything was, good. Okay. Later on, now it's 99, ish, and you've already started getting a bit of traction. The entire .com piece, is now coming to play. And those are crazy times. I mean, there was .com companies coming up everywhere, right? And I remember, I just got into, the merch business, and we used to do mouse pads, and we were doing them for eGuru Cool, and there was Naukri, and there was just so many companies, one after the other. So few, of course, actually made it through, that period as well. What was it like, one, in the heyday when, you start getting all this attention as, a .com, and then when the bust actually happened, what was it like at that time?
So we got lucky. We launched in 97.
Right.
And at that time, I never heard of venture capital. There was very little venture capital in India then.
Right.
And so we simply said that we have to break even. So first year we did 2.35 lakhs sales. Second year we did 18 lakhs. When we did 18 lakhs, we broke even.
Right.
Because I wasn't taking a salary.
Right.
We were frugal.
Yeah.
And we stopped doing everything else. We said, we are now an internet company. Because, you grow 7x. I have not seen anything grow 7x in 1 year, even on a small base.
Yeah.
So I said, this looks like we've stumbled upon a big opportunity.
Right.
By mistake. Let's stay with this. Now, around that time, we began to get calls from investors saying, can we please invest in your company? And I was baffled. Because, I've been doing it now for 9 years.
Right.
And a business and bootstrapping and trying 50 different things. And nobody in those 9 years had ever called me up to give me money. In 92, I remember we had struggled for 6 months to get a 30,000 rupee OD limit from Bank of India because we had no collateral.
Of course.
And banks would never give a clean OD.
Agreed.
Okay. But somehow we managed to persuade the branch manager and it's boss were good people, doing honest work.
Yeah.
I think he felt sorry for us. And he gave us a 30,000 rupee clean OD limit. Then it was transferred. And next guy came, called me in, and yelled at me and cancelled the limit. So we had a limit for about 6-8 months, 1 year.
Which saw you through at that time?
I mean, we could have done without it also. But it's always useful to have an OD limit
Great.
when you don't have money. So I was a little baffled. So I went for a couple of meetings, and people told me stuff that really scared me. So met this guy, and he says, "What's the great about your company?" So I said, "We are profitable." Now we are profitable because I wasn't taking a salary.
Right.
We are profitable.
Right.
Everybody else was loss making.
Yeah.
So he looks at me and says, "That's the problem with you Indian entrepreneurs. Who makes a profit on the internet? This is a new economy. If you're making a profit, it means you have a vision problem. You're thinking too small." Now that scared the hell out of me, man. If you let this guy into your company and he's on your board and he's a shareholder and you signed a very complex agreement where he has powers, I mean, with this kind of thinking, God knows what he might do to the company.
Agreed.
I said, "Thank you so much." Another guy said, we want to put $2 million for 25% of the company.
Well, that's a Machan story that you once mentioned as well. Yeah.
$2 million, 25% of the company. So I'm doing the maths, right? And dollar was 40 rupees then. So I've never dealt in millions. I only dealt in lakhs. Okay, so I don't know what $2 million is. And you got to multiply by 40. Okay, I'm good at mental maths, but at that time my brain froze.
Of course.
But then I said, it sounds like it might be 8 crore rupees. So I could not comprehend the sum of money.
Right.
At that time, the only thought I had was, how many pizzas can I buy at Nirula's?
Oh, I love that.
Okay, and I could not do that math.
A pizza in Nula's would have been like, what, $120 or something?
About 14, 15 rupees then.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, maybe 20 rupees. I don't know. I don't recall now.
Right.
Okay, but...
A lot of pizzas.
Okay, so then I told, I'm stalling for time. So I don't know what to say to him.
Right.
So I said, "But what will we do with the money?" He says, "Oh, very simple. You will spend it on advertising. That will build brand. Brand is barrier to entry. Then we will raise twice the money at 4 times the valuation. And 1 year from now, we'll list you on NASDAQ."
Not much has changed, has it?
No, listen. So I didn't know what NASDAQ was. I knew what NYSE was.
Yeah.
But NASDAQ, I knew something to do with the stock market in the US, but I didn't know exactly what it was. Okay. I didn't know the separate stock market.
Right.
And without a trading floor, right? Just electronic. I did not know.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying to myself, boss, we are running out of Jamna Par. Voltage 160 आती है. We don't have power backup. 3-4 घंटे बिजली आती है. We're just sitting and sweating. The AC doesn't pick up at 160 volts. You have in any case, you only have one AC when you need water.
Right.
Okay. We have no money. And I said, turnover is 3 lakhs a month. This guy's talking about listing on NASDAQ 1 year from now. And he'll put in money, he'll blow it all up, then raise more money. And then, and today we're profitable. This guy drive the company to losses. But she had mentioned advertising, right? Advertising was new. I worked 3 years in advertising, 2 years in consumer marketing. I know advertising.
Right.
So I was like familiar territory.
Yeah.
I said, but boss, if you spend this money on advertising, you'll never recover it.
Right.
There's no way sales will go up.
Right.
Ever. Yeah. Even 5 years from now to the level where you can recover this kind of money. So, and right now, profitable, we'll go into a loss. Yeah. This is the problem with you Indian entrepreneurs. Once again, you have a vision problem. Who makes a profit on the internet? I said, this guy is also loony. So I said no. So I said, sir, I'll come back. So he was buying me breakfast at Matran.
Right.
So I finished my breakfast, I'll come back to you. So again, thought for 2-3 days. And then finally we said, we don't want the money. Because we didn't know what we're getting into. We didn't know what they'll make us do. We know he'll have powers. I spent 9 years to reach here. This is my life's work. There is no way, we are doing something stupid.
Right.
And we got back to very politely. You got to be very polite to people who have money. But who knows, you might need them again in the future.
Right.
I said, sir, thank you so much. We believe we are not yet ready for.
Right.
When we get ready next year or two, I'll come back to you. And got back to work. But then JobsAhead launched.
Puneet Dalmia.
Good friend of mine, and Alok Mitra, good friends of mine. They launched with a launch ad campaign on television on the India-Pakistan cricket series in Sharjah.
Wow. So they must have raised like
They raised 28
4
crores.
times.
They raised 28
Okay,
crores.
okay.
We had no money. And the launch ad campaign was 2x of our annual turnover.
Scary times.
Or 36 lakh annual turnover. 75 lakh kharche on launch ad campaign. So that's when we got terrified and said we can't compete with this.
Have to raise money.
See, my earlier notion was that अगर इस साल 36 लाख हो रहा है तो अगले साल 60 लाख हो जाएगा और मेरी तनख्वाह निकल जाएगी. So my only ambition was to somehow earn a salary.
Love that.
I had no ambition to build a large company.
Right, right.
तनख्वाह निकल जाएगी मैं खुश हूँ. Right? So when that happened, we went back into the market and I asked a friend who's a banker. I said, give me names of 4 VCs who won't tell us to do stupid things like
What was
list
your
on
last-
NASDAQ and 1 year.
Right, right.
Who are familiar with the Indian context environment
Yeah.
and are willing to wait 8-10 years.
Right.
So I said, 4 naam bole. And gave me the contacts. I reached out to all of them and went and met them. Bubble time.
Yeah.
I spoke to 4, we got 3 offers, 3 term sheets.
Fantastic.
That's what happened in the bubble. We went to the ICICI venture because it's not the highest valuation. There was another VC who was slightly higher valuation, 15%,
Right.
15% more. But that was the international VC. And I was much more comfortable with the Indian VC. Because, you see, I saw the term sheets, and frankly, the clauses were scary.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, an international VC will actually believe that a contract can be enforced in India.
Right.
A contract is for a conversation.
Right.
Okay, it's not to be enforced because if you try and enforce a contract, that means the company will go under.
Yeah.
I said ICICI, same shareholder agreement, same term sheet, will actually understand that an agreement is a conversation starter.
Right.
It is not something you want to
Binding.
enforce.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I also, at that time, ICICI was 40% government owned, and they're in Bombay, we're in Delhi. Okay, and I said, listen, I know enough people in Delhi where I'll get a phone call made, and they'll tell them कि इनको 2 साल और दे दो.
Right.
Because there was a drag along clause which scared me. And so we went, and they were like us. See, many of my classmates from IIM had joined ICICI.
Right.
So the guys across the table were like us.
Yeah.
And we could relate to them, they could relate to us, we could have a conversation.
Right.
I think investor compatibility is key.
Of course.
So even though ICICI was 15% lower valuation, we went to that. I think good choice.
Oh, for sure.
Because when the meltdown happened, within a few months, within a few weeks
Right.
of us raising the money, ICICI stayed the course, did not panic, did not put a bullet into our heads. And we got along well.
Which would have been very different with the foreign investor. They would have.
Enough foreign investors, I think, got out in a hurry from India at that time.
Agreed. And then 2006, November 1st, is that when you went public?
October, November. Yeah, I think the listing was in first week of November, but the roadshow was in October.
And in terms of the valuation compared to what was offered on that Machan table, it was probably like 4,000x or something.
Yeah, the Machan table offer was pre-money of 6 million.
Right.
And this one was 800 crores, which would have been about, whatever, maybe, I don't know.
I guess at that time, you would have been trading at maybe about 60 to $1 or so.
No, I think it would be 45, 50.
Okay. So about 210 million-ish. Yeah. And of course, after that, you've created
30x, but then
crazy shareholder value as well.
It doubled on day one, and
Of course.
close to double. So now the market cap is about 65,000 crores.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
That time it was 6 crores.
Awesome. Let's do a bit of a rapid fire, and then we'll come back to some more things. Let's say from the context of today. And I thought these are some
But
interesting.
look on valuation. You got to. I mean, the market decides the valuation. You don't decide the valuation.
Agreed.
And you got to accept what you get.
Agreed.
Be okay with it. There'll be somebody who's valued more, somebody who's valued less.
Right.
Although in the beginning, I remember I used to be very bothered about it. When we were raising a first round in 2000.
Yeah.
So I'm negotiating valuation with ICICI.
Yeah.
Okay. And they said, we'll give you 7 million. I said, there's no chance. I want at least 10 million. I said, why? I said, because you gave Nirmal Jain 10 million and he was in my dorm. I cannot face my dorm mates with a lower valuation than Nirmal Jain.
Love it.
I mean, it was as stupid logic as that. I just stuck to my guns.
And they actually came through with it?
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome.
Okay, we'll equate to Nirmal Jain.
Great. Super. So I was thinking, let's do a bit of a rapid fire. So of course, at the end of the rapid fire, there has to be a goodie hamper, as well. So 1997 or 2027, which year would you rather launch a startup in?
Well, okay, so it's the question is rapid fire. The answer may not be rapid fire.
That's
okay?
perfect. Yeah.
या देखो उस समय कंपटीशन कम था लेकिन कैपिटल भी कम था
Right.
मार्केट भी छोटा था
Right.
ठीक है फ्यूचर मार्केट का मालूम नहीं था
Agreed.
टैलेंट नहीं था
बिल्कुल.
okay so it was better in some ways
Yeah.
not so good in some ways the big way it was better was competition कम था
Of course.
I think I'm a great believer in first mover advantage
Right.
now if we'd been the fifth job site we would have failed
Yeah.
we were the first job site
Which happened eventually. I mean,
but we were not the fifth
yeah, of course.
we were the first
Correct.
and that gave us enough learning and enough time to build brand equity so it's a difficult trade-off
Agreed.
and there's certain kinds of business that are possible in 97 and certain kinds of business that are not possible
Yeah.
okay where there were no smartphones
No.
so there was no GPS you couldn't there was no mobility there was you could not do delivery
Right.
there was a Zomato can
Yeah. So pros and cons on both sides for sure. Right. One overhyped buzzword.
but it's a much higher stakes game today so अगर आपको बहुत बड़ा ड्रीम करना है
Yeah.
so 97 was not the time to launch
Bada dream karna. So 97 was not the time to launch. Yeah.
but I'm a great believer in starting small dreaming big but starting small
Yeah. Love that. One overhyped buzzword in Indian startups today that needs to be retired from dictionaries.
yeah the CM1 CM2 CM3 is a load of rubbish these are somehow you massage the numbers to make it look like you have a decent business and the MBAs on the other side of the table and the VCs
Right.
half believe it and they invest
So CM1, CM2, CM3. Definitely.
either you're profitable
Right.
or you're loss making
Yeah.
अगर profitable हो कितना हो loss making हो कितना और क्यों हो so selling with variable cost you're dead
Love it. The one investment that you passed on that still makes you say, what if?
you know there are many investments you pass on where we made a lot of money
Yeah.
but I don't regret any of them because the ones we've done are doing well. So you've got to be a little philosophical about this. So we said no to Flipkart in the angel round without meeting them, without even meeting them.
Yeah.
I didn't know who they were, right? I said no to Ola in the angel round after meeting Bhavish.
Right.
I said no to Snapdeal twice at 28 million.
Right.
We said no to Lenskart.
Yeah.
Okay. In the angel round. So there were several companies that said no to.
Yeah.
We had a logic, we had a reason.
Right.
We were wrong.
Yeah.
I said no to Myntra. We were wrong.
Yeah. Which is fair because you have a lot of winners as well on the flip side.
दो तीन तो हैं, you see,
Right.
so it's okay.
Yeah. One word for the current Indian startup funding climate.
I think right now it's fairly discerning. Okay, it was overheated till 2021.
Yeah.
But now it's fairly discerning. People are more thoughtful, they take their time.
Right.
So FOMO was replaced by fear. Now it's coming back a bit. But देखो, my experience tells me, rule of thumb, madness takes 7 or 8 years to return.
Right.
So .com meltdown happened in 2000, madness returned in 2007.
2008 again, downturn.
Yeah. Madness came back in about 2000. I mean, it began, market began to come around 2013, 14.
Right.
It went totally mad by 2021.
Yeah.
And then when it corrected, when the Fed, I think by 2028, 29, maybe it'll return.
Right.
7-8 साल लगते हैं. The thing is that the people who committed these excesses, 7 years later, they're not there. There is these new people committing the same excesses.
Yeah.
Because those guys have learned their lessons.
Yeah. And of course, today's environment where, you got memories going crazy and, chip stocks going crazy and the AI madness, does that scare you at times as well?
So India is away from that.
It is.
Because we don't have our own LLMs. We don't make our own chips.
No.
In fact, we have, our stock market has suffered because of that, because a lot of money has left India.
Right.
Because they find Korea, Taiwan, US, Japan more lucrative markets, because those markets are markets where that there's compute, there is AI.
Right. So it might just play out better for us in the mid to longer term.
We don't know. See, if there's an AI correction, I'm reckoning that some money will come back to India.
I hope so, because our index has delivered 4.5% negative returns in 1 year right now. So.
Yeah, so I think, look, as companies grow into their profitability, people will grow back into their valuations,
Right.
and you will see a steadier rate of return, whether or not US money comes back.
Yeah, and that's a conversation worth having. Like, what do we need to bring the FIs back? Because there's not a lot of commentary on that.
There's not much you can do if AI is booming globally and compute is booming globally.
Right.
Because if those markets are delivering higher returns,
right,
money will go out of India into those markets.
Agreed. For sure. Yeah.
So something the global environment has to change for that to happen, and we want Indian companies to continue to do well and compound.
Yeah. Dipinder Goyal or Yashish Dahiya, who called you more often in the early days?
I called them.
Okay.
More than they called me.
Got it. What's the one Indian Jugaad moment from Naukri's early days that probably never made it to any interview?
I think most things have been talked about, but I'll tell you what. We had no money. We were broke. For 3 years, we were bootstrapping. Right? So, but we wanted our brand out there in the media.
Right.
Media, okay. Right. It means print media.
Yeah.
So we did an analysis of who's carrying appointment ads. And we figured 60 or 70% of the appointment ad budget was going to the Times of India group.
Right.
So TOIET.
Right.
So we began to go to the competitive papers in those cities because they did not have an appointment ad section, because they would not get appointment ads.
Right.
Because appointment ads go to those places where there are already appointment ads, because the readership congregates there.
Agreed.
Right. So if your paper is carrying 2 appointment ads, people look will not come to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Smart.
So we went there and we said, listen, we'll give you a way to start an appointment ad section such that you can get more ads yourself.
Right.
Paid ads.
Right.
And get readership. And we'll do that by giving you jobs that are from Naukri. And you can create an appointment ad section using Naukri jobs.
So win-win for them.
We want branding and our jobs exposure. We'll not pay you money. You don't have to pay us money for this data.
Right.
And your appointment ads team can go out and use that as a nucleus around which you get direct appointment ads paid for.
Right.
And we were able to sell this to 25 or 30 publications.
Love it.
Okay. And there was and it was a barter, and and that was huge.
Priceless eyeballs exposure.
It was huge. It was a good jugaad to build Naukri's brand.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you for
And
sharing.
it worked
that.
for 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah. Founders chase valuation like it's a trophy. What do you wish they would chase instead?
Revenue and profit and cash flow.
Of course. Right. If India's startup ecosystem today was a Bollywood movie, which genre would it be? Drama, comedy, or thriller?
I think a bit of all three.
One that maybe stands out a little more?
It depends.
Depends.
It depends on the day and the startup. I mean, in our 135 startups we invested in.
Yeah.
So, हर रोज कहीं ना कहीं थ्रिलर होता है, हर रोज कहीं ड्रामा होता है, हर रोज कहीं कॉमेडी होती है.
Of course. It's a mix of all, yeah. One pitch from a startup, AI or otherwise, that you've heard recently that has genuinely impressed you?
Yeah, so there's this bunch of guys, maybe three of them, who are starting, they want to start an AI company. They're good at AI.
Yeah.
Right? But then they said, why don't we use AI to build other people's apps and websites? So we'll start a venture studio. So founders can come to us. We'll build everything. We'll even raise a small fund and invest money.
Fantastic.
And we can do maybe 10 companies, 20 companies in 50 crores.
Yeah.
And we are running the technology.
Wow. Smart. Yeah, I like that. One thing St. Columbus taught you that no IIM ever could.
Columbus taught many things. I mean, the basic thing of you have to work hard.
Yeah.
You have to be honest and ethical. You have to help other people.
For sure.
The concept of helping poorer people was driven home to us. There was this thing called the Poor Fund.
I remember. I was going to ask you that. Did you have a poor fund in your time as well?
So there would be this white bag being passed around.
Every Friday, right? They would collect or something like that.
Yeah. And people would 5 paise, 10 paise, 25 paise, our pocket money used to be, 2 rupees a month.
But सब लोग लाते थे कुछ ना कुछ.
Okay, because they said this is going to orphans. Okay, so that thing was distilled into us. It help other people. So there was a sense of service. There was this commitment to hard work. There was a commitment to excellence. There was discipline. There was.
Very true.
So these 5-6 cheezein,
Oh, for sure. Goes without saying.
Stayed with you for the rest of your life, actually.
Yeah. One founder.
Honesty.
For sure. One Indian founder that we should be watching over the course of next 10 years.
This concept of everybody's equal. In Columbus, where no matter, what your last name is, no matter where you live, no matter what your father does,
Right.
no matter how money you have at home, everyone's equal. Okay, no matter what your religion is, caste is, you're equal. And the big thing of that was that everybody came and went by school bus. There were no cars picking up and dropping people.
Yeah.
Everybody had to wear the same shoes and sneakers. I mean, PT shoes.
Yeah.
You could not, even if you had money, you could not display your wealth. The maximum you could do was get a scented rubber, but we had ordinary erasers. Okay.
Even birthdays, the amount of candy you could give out were 2 sweets. Yeah. Do you remember your bus number?
Yeah. So in the beginning, it was something called NDPO, New Delhi Post Office. The Z buses were official buses, and the NDPOs were run by DDC.
Okay.
And because my brother went to Columbus, went in NDPO, I also went in NDPO. Then we shifted homes, and I got into Z13, then Z18, then Z2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I used to be Z10, just gate ke saath wala jo bus khadi hoti thi. Well, Brother Pinto would stand right there at the gate. One luxury that you now have that the 1990 version of you would consider completely absurd.
I can go on holidays, which I could not do earlier.
Right.
So I recall when from 1997, we had no money. In 2000, 10 saal, no money. Our biggest holiday would be take the car, the non-AC Maruti 800,
Right.
and drive to Bharatpur for bird watching. Stay in a RTDC, Rajasthan Government Corporation Hotel, yes, Sasta, or go to Kasauli driving. I've done Kasauli half a dozen times, Bharatpur half a dozen times, just driving.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of the grounding of your children also comes from. Because Tanvi would talk about the fact that we didn't have money when, she was kind of growing up, and the money came much later. And I think that a lot of the grounding comes from there as well today.
Yeah, to buy a second pair of jeans, there was a huge negotiation, always.
Love it. We talk a little bit about towards the end as well. X or LinkedIn, which is your go-to platform?
X more than LinkedIn.
Yeah, very active on that. Which could potentially be bigger, the .com bubble or the AI bubble?
The AI bubble. There's much more capital involved, and there's a lot of leverage involved.
Yeah.
The AI, the .com bubble did not have leverage, and it did not have this much money.
True. Yeah.
But it was also 26 years earlier.
Agreed. Biggest green flag in a founder?
So there are a couple of questions we ask, and one of the questions we ask is, what is the kind of salary you would like to take from the company after we invest? And we typically go on the first check. Right? Now, we're not looking for a specific answer. We're looking for how he thinks it through.
Yeah.
Or she thinks it through.
Yeah. I'm sure you get some interesting answers on that as well.
We do.
Yeah. And on the flip side, what's a big red flag when you're having a founder conversation?
So you meet founders who are doing 2 businesses or 3 businesses.
Right.
They're taking money in one, not in the other 2. You're not sure where they put their time. See, it's like this. You need complete alignment of interest.
Agreed.
You need that if my investment goes down, the founder goes down.
Yeah.
It cannot be the founder succeeds while I fail.
Agreed.
There are three businesses you're investing in one. The founder can succeed while you fail.
Yeah. Agreed. Of course, you mentioned that you do a lot of note writing. I think also came down from one of your earlier bosses in the Lintas days. So today, paper notebook or iPad? Paper notebook.
I'm too old-fashioned. I still have a physical diary. I don't maintain my calendar outlook.
Yeah, love it. If the 28-year-old Sanjeev walked into this room today, what's one sentence that you would tell him?
I've said this before on other podcasts. There's a Billy Joel song called Vienna. Right? Have you heard it?
I follow Billy Joel quite a bit. Yeah.
So, shall I play it?
Sure.
Okay, I got to take the signal back.
Okay.
So, lyrics, I tell a lot of young callers, listen to a song. I understand the lyrics.
Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile, but then if you're so smart, tell me why are you still so afraid? Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in a day.
Yeah. Oh, so apt, so appropriate. There you have it. If you haven't already heard Vienna, Billy Joel, you must. Okay, I think that's an important lesson. Love that. Last few on the rapid fire. India's biggest advantage today is, so just complete the sentence.
Talent.
Yeah. The biggest mistake founders make is?
People mistakes.
And success without dash is meaningless.
I disagree. Okay. Success without purpose.
Success without purpose is meaningless. Okay, right. So, I mean, again, you've built amazing companies, created, thousands of jobs, received one of India's largest, civilian honors. And if history remembers Sanjeev Bikhchandani for just one thing, what would you want that to be?
He made a difference.
Love that. Yeah. Powerful. So, I mean, of course, that was our rapid fire. And, we will wind up, with a few more things. Let's talk about the humility, right, that you have. And I've seen this all through. I've seen you at TIE over the years. Anyone approaches you, you will always, give them patient listening. You will always take their card. It's very unlike most people, who've created, the kind of, wealth and legacy and everything else. Where does that really come from?
It comes from, I guess, many sources. The family I'm from, my parents, my siblings, school I went to, the college I went to, my friends. But I think a lot of it also comes from my first job at Lintas. Well, like I told you, you had to be humble and you had to have a service attitude and you had to be responsive to your clients.
Right.
And you were told that the client is always right, even when he's wrong.
Right.
And if you have to work till 3 a.m., you have to work till 3 a.m. to do something.
Yeah. So true. And there's so much controversy sometimes when people say, itne ghante kaam karna hai. But as a founder, there is no limit. There is no clock, right?
Yeah, this whole, I think Mr. Narendra Murthy said 70 hours. And
Subramanian said 90. And
I thought of it when they said that. I said, yeah, it will come. The truth is, nobody should be forced to work more than they want to work.
Right.
But understand that some jobs and most jobs require you to do what it takes.
Right.
And there's an entitlement mindset and there's an achievement mindset.
Right.
And if you believe that you are in a job as a young person,
right,
as an apprenticeship, to a future leadership role,
right,
you got to do what it takes, because leadership दिहाड़ी पे नहीं होती है,
right,
प्रति घंटे नहीं होती है, पीस रेट पे नहीं होती है. तो अगर आपको लीडर बनना है 5-10 साल बाद, 20 साल बाद, तो you have to do what it takes.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You've got to do whatever it takes. Agreed. Let's talk about, your children, especially Tanvi's business. Now, here is someone who, again, has kept it very simple. It's almost like a full circle moment where, you worked out of, your dad's, Barsati, and she for a while, worked out of home before taking up, her own place, but has kept it very simple.
Well, actually, she worked out of home during COVID. and otherwise she was going to a very inexpensive sort of office in Tughlaqabad and Okhla and Govindpuri and
Right.
not very fashionable districts.
Did you take rent from her as well?
No, I did not do that.
Okay.
No, but I offered to invest in a company. She declined.
Wow.
And I kept asking her why. She said, I don't want my investor sitting at a dining table every day.
Yeah, makes sense. But Tamarind Chutney is making an impact, and I think it's great to see as a social enterprise what they're doing.
It could be larger, but they're not raising capital.
And Raghav keeps it quite quiet.
He's a journalist.
Yeah.
He wants to be a journalist. He wants to be a writer.
Yeah, interesting. Lovely. So, as we head now towards, almost, our deadline that we do have, any, advice that you'd like to give today to, young entrepreneurs, and in fact, even let's look at entrepreneurs, because I think that's also an interesting category, and a lot of people ignore entrepreneurship versus entrepreneurship. So, your thoughts and advice to, both categories of people.
So I think to be an entrepreneur,
Right.
you need the right environment in the organization.
Sure.
You need a good boss and good supporting
Right.
other supporters.
Right.
I think one of the challenges that we face at InfoEdge or any other company,
Right.
if there's one really large business, how do you persuade talent to move to a small fledgling business
Right.
where you have to tell them, look, take the risk, do a good job, but even if it fails, your career will not be harmed.
Yeah.
But the truth is, bragging rights are there for managers in the large businesses because they're handling much larger, revenue stream.
Yeah.
So that becomes a challenge.
Right.
To encourage entrepreneurs inside a company.
Right.
Also, there's a certain kind of DNA in the person
Right.
to want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And we are fortunate we've got several.
Right.
We've been able to identify them over the years.
Right.
To young entrepreneurs, I'll say get to know your customer well and make sales calls yourself and understand the customer. Because successful businesses are built on deep customer insights.
Yeah. So true. I think you mentioned that know your customer and know how to sell. I think these are a couple of your top two pieces of advice.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. And log bhagte hain sales se. They're like, it's not my job. Someone else has to handle it.
As a founder, it's very important that you sell yourself and you're in the field and talking to customers. 3-4 reasons. Number one, you learn.
Yeah.
You learn what it is to sell. You are the best salesperson and spokesperson for your own product. You built it. You get feedback from customers on what's working, not working.
Right.
You set an example for your sales team.
Yeah.
There's several reasons why you should sell yourself.
I would agree. Yeah, 100%. Again, like I said, this conversation could have gone on for a lot longer. Maybe we'll have to do a second part, at some point as well. But thank you so much, for, of course, being here.
Thank you so much.
Coming down. Just, a few more things that we had, for you, from our side is, I know how much you like to write. So, this is, something that we have. It's from the house of, Shantanu and Nikhil. And it's a fountain pen, which has your name on
This
it.
is not required, but thank you so much.
So there is, just a few things. So we had, a pen for you. Way back when I started out, I made the first, stock market game when I was a 16-year-old. So recently we remade the entire stock market game.
Nice,
so I had a
nice,
stock market game for you as well. And also created, a planner because again, you said you love to write. So this is something that it was the Scaling with GB Goal Planner. So a great way to, capture, goals, ideas, and, other things around that. So I thought something that you might, fancy as well.
Hey, this is nice.
Yeah. But like I said, once again, thank you for being here. I know, you have a lot on your plate. So thank you so much for being here.
This is very nice.
It's a pleasure. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Mr. Sanjeev Bikhchandani, gentleman at heart, humble, humane, hungry, like I mentioned right in the startup. And let us know what you thought about this episode and would love to have your shares and feedback. If you want part 2, let us know about that
May
as
I
well.
add one more thing?
Please.
So you did call me humble. So I'll tell you, some of it, I try very hard to not be arrogant because the more you succeed, it's really important, the more approachable you are because so you were there once.
So true.
So, be good to people who are there now.
So true. Golden words. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Hey, bye, man. Thank you.